got a hand-me-down dog. I keep a second-hand cat. We all live together in a one-room run-down flat. I drive a Nash Rambler car. It never goes very far. I drink my pint of old granddad from an old green mason jar. But I got a brand new girlfriend. She's my brand new girl. And I'm sitting on top of the world, 'cause I got a brand new girl. She blows her money like a whirlwind. I got a brand new girlfriend. She drives a shiny new car. I wear shiny old slacks.
Hey there, Doc. Welcome to the stream. This is a very different setup. So, I've got this machine set up on our dining room table right now. This is where I've been doing my work. And what you're seeing here in the capture is Explorer had crashed while I was doing some screwing around earlier, and I just wanted to give it a restart before we begin. Because, you know, looking at game audio, looks like things are okay. Let me know. Because I'm doing a little bit of screwing around to get this all to work, because I've got this monitor does not have HDMI. It has DVI, but it's not a 1080p screen. So I've got the VGA going into the OSSC, which is going into an HDMI splitter, going to the capture, and going to the monitor. And the monitor does not have audio out, so then I'm getting my audio through the monitoring on OBS. Glad to hear it's good. A little convoluted, but, you know, it's working. So, as for what we start with, I've got a pile of discs over here to my side. Let's do my very legitimate copy of Descent 2. The optical drive is also a bit funny. So I figure what we'll do is we'll just run through a bunch of games, see how they run with this build, this Cyrix 686 200 PR. And I think, actually before we play, that reminds me, something I do actually want to do, let's see, I think CPU-Z is on here. So something that you can run with this, which is interesting, is it has a performance measure. Yeah, so there's our Cyrix 686. Its core clock's 166 megahertz. Reference, let's say we were referencing Pentium MMX 200. Let's go ahead and start our measurement. So this is PR 200, which means there's a performance rating that Cyrix kind of cooks up to say, yeah, it's 166 megahertz, but it performs like a 200 megahertz Pentium. And we can see here that for just raw CPU speed, that's almost true. For the FPU, though, we're about 30%, 25-30% short. And the margin closes with the 166. Max doesn't make that much difference. So as far as like FPU performance, we're about the equivalent of a Pentium 133. This has influenced some of how I've been picking games for this system, because a lot of 3D games are going to be leveraging the FPU for geometry, for scene updates, positions, vertices. And the rendition that's in here is being used for texturing and rendering. And I say rendering, very general term, but like it's not offloading a bunch of the geometry transform that the FPU has to do. So while this is a 166 megahertz CPU, and while it says it performs like a 200 megahertz Pentium, that isn't totally true for games. So we'll see that for stuff like, I'm not going to run Unreal Gold on here because it's all sorts of jank, but Unreal Gold, I get single-digit frames. Doing OpenGL, doing DirectX, software is even worse. And that's just because there's only so much the Verite can offload from the Cyrix. But that also makes this combination really interesting. So, like, I guess we'll just get into a game and I can talk as we go, but the Cyrix on its own would not be able to do a whole lot with the kind of generation games we're looking at. But the Rendition, despite it being a GPU which... exactly. And if you were to read about the Rendition card online, one strong narrative is it didn't sell as well as the Voodoo. It's not as good as the Voodoo. What I postulate from my messing around with this stuff is that the Rendition unlocks a lot of games for this system that it couldn't otherwise run. Because it is not as powerful as a Voodoo. But this card at one point retail was $50, whereas the Voodoos were hundreds of dollars. It's like if you're on a budget, like let's say you got your Cyrix system like this, and you got it because you couldn't afford a Pentium, right? And Cyrix really capped the price. And you could run 2D stuff, but now you're interested in this Quake thing, Quake 2, this 3D acceleration generation of games. Doing nothing else but just throwing the Verite in there, you can get pretty far. Like, I think some of the games we were running were from 98. I don't know if we get anything in 99. Yes, that's true. And that's the architecture of it. The Rendition, the Verites are I believe it's some sort of a RISC architectured processor. And there's a bunch of code functions that are uploaded to the card and executed as part of the command you give it. So they're programming this general purpose CPU to do graphics routines. Whereas when you look at what basically was traditional GPUs up until CUDA caught back on and all that, was you had silicon with specific features that were good at moving data around in very specific ways to do stuff like accelerated matrix mathematics or data operations for blending colors. There were, right, graphics hardware vendors from like the mid 90s, probably start because of Voodoo and then therefore because of Silicon Graphics up through like the mid 2000s. They were solving it in hardware because that was just the most performant way to do it. Because there's an overhead with software where you get a lot of flexibility because you just update stuff on the fly, but you can't make clever shortcuts in your transistor configurations to do just the thing you're trying to do, like purpose built. So yeah, you saw these initial attempts where Verite was going for very much kind of a flexible software-oriented approach. I say software, it's the software on the RISC processor. Or bake the hardware, it'll do the thing it's built to do really fast, but you can't do anything else. Like, having a general-purpose CPU, like as long as it had enough memory and clock and performance, you could add features for later DirectX and OpenGL generations that on the silicon, like that's baked in. What you get is what you get. Sorry, I just realized I bumped the table to peg my mic. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Let's play some Descent. We can see how that is. And also, as we play Descent, where is it? Games? Yes, games. I will be using this Microsoft Precision Pro that I got from the computer recycler. This has the limitation that it doesn't report as a DOS gamepad or DOS game port joystick, so it's useless to me in DOS. But yeah, there's the Descent music. But it uses optical sensors for tracking as opposed to variable resistors, so drift is much reduced. So I'm just trying to find a good place for this level. And it feels good in the hand. It's a nice feeling stick, and basically as long as you stick with Windows, you'll have a good time with it. And part of what I want to do here, as we're going through and trying these games, I want to see how many of them we can run with a joystick, and how good or bad that is. Because growing up, most PC games were like, oh, you have a joystick, you want to use it? And I didn't have a joystick, so I never tried. I was like, ugh, I'll use a gamepad. So, yeah. Alright, so we have a guide bot. We have greenies. These little droids. These ones, so I've played a little bit of this before. They have a tendency to kind of annoy you and then run away. So you end up having to chase them down. Steel weapons, gross. Yeah, so this is running with DirectX. We ran the Windows 95 version of Descent 2, so that way I could use this joystick. And that has the flip that rather than using a Verite-based render of some sort, we're using the Verite's DirectX compatibility, which actually gets you a long way in this whole adventure. You can see how this guy's like running around trying to be a nuisance. Oh god, I'm disoriented. Oh, there's more guys. More guys. There we go. I think I already grabbed the energy that was around. So it doesn't. This doesn't seem to support the twist on my joystick, which is annoying. I have to use keyboard keys to spin in different axes. Oh, you look mean. You look like a mean old meanie. Another one. You're also looking mean. There's your little buddy trying to zip around. Zipper. So we'll call you. I feel like Descent 2. You can name these guys the way that like old NES enemies were named, with just these corny names like, oh, that's a fiddle faddle, that's a doodadder. I think these guys try to lead you into more trouble. That's kind of what they do. I just also murder all the guys. I think the separate throttle would make a lot of sense if I was doing more aviation simulation. Like for little arcade games like this, I think I'm okay with the built-on throttle. Oh, this isn't like, right, like I was saying, this doesn't use any of that. I was kind of hoping it would. There's a thing. Oh, there's another thing. Oh, there's some more things. Oh, I got a bloopy doop. That shoots good bullets. Oh, there's like a crisscross applesauce gun. I don't know if that'll break. Let's see now. Where the heck am I going? Oh god. Turn me right side. I think there's a little bit of auto adjust. Oopsie. For some of the rotation that takes place. But this guy's gonna lead me to the red key. But man, this feels so much better to play with a joystick. I did this a little bit with a keyboard, and I'm like, this sucks. I hate this. I'm gonna go buy a joystick. Hey, don't you hit my guy. That's my guy. I'm gonna fly right into your bullets. That's what you didn't expect me to do. So there was the earlier Sidewinder 3D force feedback sticks. Those are DOS compatible and they have force feedback and they're basically super beloved. I think Doc, you have, that's what you got in box. You might even have a second one. The only thing that ever bothered me about those was that they're very square and rigid looking. And I want something that feels very natural and comfortable. I want more shield. Okay, I can't fly through that. I have to go around. Oh god, where's my around? Zoom! We could try Descent to Undermountain. Now that's all gonna run... that's not 3D accelerated as far as I know, so I think that's all gonna be in software. And so I think it will, because it ran on the previous build of this I had, which had a Voodoo 2 in it. Alright. Yeah, I could try. So we have done some Descent too. And we can see that just runs. There's nothing weird. It just works. We can't ask anything more of it. So next, let's try our old friend Croc. I'm also assuming like this can run Battlespire, so this is run Battlespire. I'll probably run any modern, newer DOS game I can throw at it. So I think that's probably the most persnickety for video modes. Ignore the fact that it says install Croc is already installed, and for some reason it doesn't know it anymore. Program files. Box. So, we did some stuff with Croc. You see there's a Croc D3D here. If you remember, there's 2 major releases of Croc for PC. The initial release supported Voodoo and software, and that might have been it. And then there was a later release that was only Direct 3D. This is that initial version, but someone made an unofficial patch to add the Direct 3D rendering support to it. So if we go to run Croc, we can change it. I have this set to glide right now because I'm using the Rendition glide emulator. But we can also choose Direct 3D. We could try that later and see what that feels like. So override your current set to controls and default game controls out. Yes, okay. I want to see if we can run this with a joystick. Let's see what we can do. So wacky. Yeah, so this is running with a Voodoo emulation layer right now. Let's see what we do for a joystick. Oh god. Alright, we'll fix it. This doesn't like the hat. Forgot this should be control left right. Okay. So I think this will get us there. Get to play Croc with the joystick. So I'm using the rudder to do the sidestep. And then the stick to turn. Yeah. Oh god, this is weird. Oh, that's funny. This is really sensitive. It's almost like this wasn't made to use just a big old PC joystick. Kabooey! There it is, that's how we do it. Okay. I like this better than the keyboard. It is less precise, but it at least it's easier on the hands. So what we'll do is we'll play this little first area with the 3DFX emulator, and then we'll see how it runs with the DirectX and see which we prefer. So I guess we get a little bit into drivers with this. So originally I was using this card is a Diamond Stealth something or another card. It's a Rendition 2200, but it's Diamond's flavor of it. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Run, 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 run. Yes. What? So they had their own drivers. And those drivers I actually like using the rudder there like that. That's kind of smart. So they had their own drivers, and I mean, oh no, I Sonicked. But if I tried to run any of the Verite specific ports of things, it wouldn't work. And the Voodoo wrapper, which I wasn't like needing the Voodoo wrapper to work, but it was interesting to see that it would run for the first 2 or 3 steps of Croc, and then the whole game would crash. So clearly, there were some compatibility issues. And so then I tried the reference drivers. There's a few different versions. There's the last stable release, which was 2.6. Why did I jump here? Oh god. No! Poor Croc! This is definitely as good as a gamepad. There was then, I think, 5 different iterations of a beta 3. And so I took the latest beta. And that's what I started with. And the Verite specific stuff started working. It completely broke the 3DFX wrapper. Excuse me. And I could, like, I guess previously with the Diamond stuff, what it did do well is the OpenGL compatibility layers mostly worked. It broke the Quake 2 one. That thing's adorable. I'm gonna hit it with my tail. I'm not gonna hit it with my tail. It's too mean. Curse splat. So, right, some stuff worked, some stuff didn't. That was weird. So what I did next, then, was I backed that to the last stable 2.6 driver. And with that, Quake 2 worked. VQuake 2 worked. Quake 1 worked. This compatibility layer seems to be working. This is the first time I played a whole level in Croc with that compatibility layer. So I think the 2.6 driver is the way to go. Let's see. I haven't tried D3D with this yet. So we'll see how this works. I feel like 640x480 is also the sweet spot for most of these 3D games. It might. I haven't tried it extensively. I basically just tried it with Croc. Okay, I tried it with Unreal Gold, and it really did not like that. It would blink between desktop and a black screen faster and slower, and you could hear the sound of the intro, and that's about it. So we can see that there's some transparency issues. That star wipe worked. I'm curious if the performance will feel much different. I'll just see if I can go to a different level. It runs worse. Like, it doesn't feel as smooth. So also on the beta drivers, the geometry on Croc and D3D, the backface calling was all messed up, and so there were just portions of Croc's body that would... Ow! I was trying to hit you! Kersplat! There were some drawing and rendering issues with it. And I was curious if we'd see those here or not. It looks like no. Yeah, the frame rate seems a lot more all over the place in T3D. I'm gonna hit that guy again. Is he... Kablooey! Did we just freeze? No, we didn't. Oh, that hitched briefly while it was restarting the Red Book audio. I'm not gonna play the whole level. Yeah, I think the Voodoo compatibility is probably the way to go for Croc on this. I mean, keep in mind the glide wrapper is nowhere close to perfect. There's just a lot of stuff that doesn't work. So the joystick works with Croc, which is fun. And we can see that Croc runs. Well, let's go ahead and change our driver settings real quick before I forget. Okay, so that's Croc. Croc is good. What else we got? Here we go. Quake 2 is probably been the most persnickety game with this build because it was the one that broke when drivers were getting switched around. With the current driver set and with the 1.0 install, it actually ran pretty good with VQuake 2, but the CD audio wasn't working. Initially, I was getting static with my bad burn, and then after a while, I just stopped trying altogether, which is weird. So I reinstalled with the version of Quake 2 that came as a bonus with Quake 4, and I'm using the original Quake 2 CD for getting the audio off, and that fixed the CD audio. But my observations are that the frame rate seems to suffer a little bit. And I want to double check. I think I'm running this at 640 by 480. There's a readme here that I want to look at. Yeah, so that's reset to 3, which is 640 by 480. Okay. And so the way this works is there's a renderer that you add as a DLL to the Quake 2 directory. Let's see if the terminal happens to say anything. Yeah, so you can see at the top here, loading ref vk1.dll. So the initial time I ran it, I need to set this rendering mode to vk1. So you type in vid_ref space vk1, and that tells Quake 2 to go load up the ref vk1 DLL. And then inside the config file for Quake 2, I have set up that mode 3 for 640 by 480, which is why I loaded this resolution. It did detect a joystick. I'm not going to try joystick with Quake 2. I know better. So I was getting single-digit frames when running this in software. I also kind of wonder if, is that done for sound? That's mostly fine. I kind of wonder if this would get content matched. We'll see. But yeah, just going to this is playable. It's like on the edge of playable because you do see some hitching. That's some of what I think is a bit of a miracle of what the Rendition's doing here is like it's taking a system that could not run Quake 2, even close, and bringing it in playable. He says as the frame rate tanks. Alright, oh, you dork. Yeah, I don't know if I went and reinstalled the 1.0 and just did a clean version, if the CD audio would start working again, and maybe I'd get a little more perf out of it with the Verite renderer. I don't know. I didn't really build this machine to run Quake 2. This is just like, this is for me at that high end of playable. Like, this is one I guess I was seeing what games could run and what couldn't. It wouldn't run, but it was close. So I was like, okay, if we get Quake 2, then we're okay. But if we don't, then sure. I missed the shotgun, I think. The hitching when the CD track restarts is unfortunate. I think I'm missing the shotgun. Alright. For some reason I felt like I was using the shotgun to hit that exploding barrel before. Yeah. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Basically, I just want to clear this first map in Quake 2. They imagine, like, you build your budget family computer in, I don't know, when did the series come out? It probably would have been 96. I missed the shotgun. And that's gonna drive me crazy. The shotgun's definitely in this level. Okay, yes, I figured. Alright. So, this is that classic curse of being on a stream and playing badly. We have to start that first track again. There it is. Oh good, we're playing Warm Cold. What's gonna make the warm cold thing even better is that there's delay. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I knew the... Hi, shotgun. Hello. Jesus. Yeah, like right here, that's a bit too choppy to run well. But I'm not going to put any more time in trying to make Quake 2 run because I don't plan to play Quake 2 in this machine. That's not what this machine is for. Soundtrack. Alright, so that was Quake 2. Next, let us try Battle Spire. So I don't remember what were Quake 2's min-spec requirements. Yep, that's what I really want to do. So Quake 2 apparently is a Pentium 90 for minimum. Which I do question that a little bit. A 133 is recommended, but like software mode works so badly. No, it doesn't. I tried. Image burn does not play nice with this. I tried burning one thing, and it went badly. And I was like, okay, that's not what this machine's gonna do. I think there's a CD audio on this. Always come from Moreland. Hey, I didn't expect that. Alright, let's get the nipples off the screen. Will be a assassin. I have 3 points. Oh, it costs multiple points to increment a thing. I got this. Not enough points. Okay. I guess we'll just stick with this. Cool. Try one more time. I think I remember this crashing through before. And then I went and just did it again and it worked. If not, we might have to boot into DOS to do it. Which I have done before. Sure, great. You are the Nightblade. Yeah, that had happened to me before. I thought I had run it successfully through Windows, but maybe I'm misremembering. It has to go through DOS. I have gone through text dialogues and Battle Spire in this game before, or in this computer before. So let's see, we go. Okay, well. That's a quirk. I'm not going to boot into DOS right now. But I have a handy dandy little shortcut set up here, which will restart me in DOS mode and give me the prompt for do I want CD-ROM support and stuff. So I can use that when I need it. But yeah, that comes with the territory of this era of machine. Sometimes stuff just crashes. I'd argue computers are way more stable nowadays than they used to be. And for the complexity of software layers, like, that's a miracle. I'm pretty sure I've already installed this game. I don't know what sold out things it needs to do right now. So, one thing I don't miss from this era is auto start CD-ROMs. Because I've had it where I've gone and started the game and actually started before the auto prompt thing came up, and then that just messed with the window focus and everything, and it was a disaster. So I've had to get in the habit again of put the CD in, wait for it to settle, and then we'll try to play. Oh, that's an interesting... Oh, that's fine on the stream. My... Oh, okay. I guess this needs to do that. Okay. I'll suppose... Alright. Cool. So we got that. No, I want to discard. Is there... So, this is rendering really weird on my monitor, so I'm going to see if there's a... Is there an OK around here that I'm just not seeing? No. It is cutting off a little bit, which is great. Okay, there we go. What's our loading thing about? Options. Why is this video so weird? Sorry, this should be running in a Verite mode, and I thought it gave me some configuration for what resolution I want to run it in. So we're going to go to Sierra. That's for pinball. Okay. Files. That's for something. This is sold out. Where? Great. That sounds about right. Where are you located? C, Sierra, GPL. Okay, so I just missed it. Oh, that's like Vroom Vroom Driver. App. Yeah, so it is using Rendition. Okay. I just run at a weird resolution. I wish it ran at a better resolution. Yeah, system test 640 with that. Okay, we'll just run it, I guess, and deal. It's coming in. It might be all right. Like this looks all cut off and stuff. This looked different on my prior attempts to play, where I didn't have this whole capture setup going. So I'm wondering if it's just a really weird resolution for OSSC. Yeah, see now this looks like something real. This is running in the Verite mode. It should be 640 by 480. I like having the analog steering. This being Grand Prix Legend, it is touchy to the controls. So some of what I might need to for this setup is not to be using an LCD screen. Just because, like, different refresh rates, different resolutions. As we saw, like, I basically lost... I can't see half the UI in the menus because it's running at, like, some 300 by something resolution that I can't possibly read. I'm just, like, throwing my cursor to corners and trying to get it to hit a button. I don't know this track. I don't know this track. There's some people. Hi, people. So this does not have analog throttle, as far as I know. Yeah, like you can see, like it basically runs smooth. Full 3D accelerated goodness. I guess the lower left hand seems to be the leave things, and the lower right hand seems to be the do things. That's what we've learned. It was cool when I installed Grand Prix Legends. It was like, oh, do you want to run Verite? And I'm like, I sure do. Thank you for asking. Alright, I've been kind of grabbing things off the top here, but I want to be a little bit choosy. Because the next game I'm like, I'm not ready to do that just yet. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. There we are. This is what I really want. So we're going to be getting to some games that I have not actually installed yet. Out of laziness. That whole stack isn't games I burned, like the top section's games I burned, the rest of it's my blank CDRs. Let's see how Turok works. I don't remember if Turok 1 has any Redbook audio. I burned most of these other games on Linux, so we might hit some games that cool. I don't need install Cortex 5. We might hit some games that have awful noise. I like how it's Turok revealed problems with various cards, as opposed to Turok has bugs or something. Where's our Diamond Stealth? Since we're using the reference drivers, I'm going to go with that. It knows that our card exists. I didn't really configure the controls. I don't know what this is going to do for controls. My monitor's hating this refresh rate. So that's probably the CD audio. So we'll turn that down. Is it gonna fix that? Yeah. Turn it down just a little bit more. Oh, well, it's gonna use this. I guess we're using the joystick. So I will say, it's looking better on your screen than mine right now. My screen, there's a whole lot of artifacting because I think the refresh rate's not exactly compatible. Well, it's more like the N64 than I would have expected. Well, I'm looking through the OBS preview also right now. And I can see where it... I mean, it looks fine. Are you trying to throw a nade at me? Oh yeah, there is some cutoff though. I see. Where? Oh! You dick! I'm not gonna play through a bunch of Turok. I'm intrigued by the fact that this sort of works with the joystick. Because I didn't bother to go through and configure the controls before starting. Space jump. Space is still jump, okay. Thank you, Turok! I'm gonna assume that Turok 2 will behave itself a bit better because it seems like a bit more of a modern game. Turok 1's a little bit ancient. Oh god, I missed the jump to get the thing! The thing I wanted. Also, I kind of think the game probably runs better when there's not CD audio going. It's actually running really smooth now. Yes, I did miss the shotgun. At least I know it's there. Alright. Yes! We did it. Sidewinder, guide me home. I'm sure there's not a lot of generous auto aim also taking place here. Yeah, like that was generous auto aim. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't try, guys. Alright, we've seen Turok. Let me adjust this back a little bit now. So I gave some buffer here because this was doing some weird stuff as we changed different resolutions. Now the OSSC also has different modes for how to handle different resolutions, like what kind of scalars to use. I haven't dialed any of that in. Alright, here's another game that I have not installed yet. This one might take a minute. So far we played some traditional FPSs, a racing game, and Descent, so a flight sim sort of, and everything basically works. Now some of them, like Battle Spire, you would have run the same with the Arc than you would have with this new GPU, but like like Turok, you wouldn't be able to run Turok before. Descent could have run in software mode in DOS, but this is giving you the Windows version rendering pretty well. Yeah, we're trying this now. I haven't actually put anything on the SSD yet, so let's try this. It'll also keep me from using all of my primary hard drive. This, I believe, also has a Verite patch. Hence, that's part of the reason why I pulled it. Maybe something you need to do on your next Turok stream, Doc, is experiment with using one of your joysticks on it. I wonder how the force feedback would work. Could you get force feedback from Turok 2 and like have it vibrate or something when you get hit? There it is. Okay. I saw that it was not super far off from the volume of my voice, so I was like, let's turn it down a little bit. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure Sound Blaster 16 should have wave table synthesis on it. I also kind of wonder if I disassembled this DVD-ROM drive, re-greased everything, cleaned everything, if it'd be a little bit snappier. Like, I don't remember it being terribly old when I put it in. It was a drive I had laying around, but like it's also been just sat for a long time. Probably since the mid-2000s, maybe late 2000s. I also gotta take a look at that Sony one I used to have in the Dell, because that one did actually give me problems. Like, it would just not read discs sometimes. It was annoying. Including drivers on the game disc. That's fascinating. Here's Voodoo's, 3D Labs. They're not talking about my card at all. Well, I guess it has the explicit patch for it. I guess we'll restart. So we probably should install that patch before we touch this at all, since it's all about the Voodoos. If I remember, I had trouble getting this to boot off of a SATA drive, and so it has an IDE, just traditional mechanical disk installed as well. And it's using the same SATA controller card that I have in the Dell that I used to boot off SATA on the Dell. So I wonder if there's a BIOS setting or something that's making that weird. Like when I first put this thing together with the Voodoo years ago, or I guess with the Arc years ago, I just kind of brute forced my way through it. It's like, fine, I'll just put an old drive in it, who cares? And when I was putting this back together, getting everything out of the garage, verifying that the loaded board worked, I forgot that that was the case, and so like, oh, I guess I have to have both these drives in. And then it booted the Windows, I'm like, cool. But I'm also using the onboard IDE controller, so I don't know, maybe. I haven't felt motivated enough to actually try to make it work. Just keep the SSD as a secondary drive for now. So one of these zips should be game update compilation. Here we go. And then I believe rendition file XC7B. This is the nice thing about having 7-zip on this machine. Most of the time it works. I found there are some zips that it doesn't open correctly. Let's see. Oopsie poopsie. And I haven't been super diligent about cleaning things up from what I unarchive versus whatever. Just I don't care enough right now. Shortly before this stream, I had shoved a bunch of stuff into this Verite files directory and cleaned up the desktop a bit because it was a mess. Alright. What do we got here then? Enjoy 3D glory. This version has not been tested with Rendition V1000 generation of hardware. Okay, so the swirl around doesn't work. Okay. Occasionally the game will seem to crash and attempt to exit back to Windows. This is gonna be something else. Okay, so this is probably gonna work. There might be some bugs. I don't want to get your hopes too high. I guess. Uncheck the Riva. That was what it said to do. Alright. I need to install or put one of the disks in. You might be asking yourself, hey, this doesn't seem like it's working. That's okay. It's expected. It could be a little crashy. I mean, this is part of the adventure too, right? Is like, this card is functional. It can do some stuff, and it was thought to be the great 3D accelerator for a brief period, and then it wasn't. So, support is going to be weird. Good on Square for putting something out there, I guess. And once again, we're running at a weird refresh rate or something, and the monitor is putting some noise on the screen. It's not excited. Is it gonna work? Yeah, it's So far, so great. Oh my god! Where were you? What took you so long? Attaboy. Attaboy, Verite. We need to adjust this a little bit. Bring it in. Oh, use the joystick. How is this gonna run? So it's also streaming this video off the CD, which again makes me wonder, is this all the game, or the PC being slow, or is the drive also kind of in need of some help? Well, if you can see this in person, though, like this Samsung monitor I'm using, it's like one of those whatever by 1050 resolution monitors that suck because they don't support like regular TV resolutions, and it's really narrow on what refresh rates it supports. It is not liking whatever video is getting put up to it right now. I mean, it's also being converted from HDMI to DVI. I think we're missing music. Oh god. Okay. Oh, there's a run. Hey, it spiraled. Samsung. I don't know if it's a Sync. Actually, yes, this is Syncmaster. Yes, this is the old Samsung Syncmaster. So the music's not playing. That's unfortunate. Yeah, if you really want to look it up, it's a Syncmaster 226BW. Maybe it needed that wavetable emulation thing. So let's try a few things now. Firstly, let's install that wavetable synth thing. But let's do something weird. Let's do some weird stuff. What do you say? We can get weird with this. Yeah. Maybe this is too old to have wavetable synth. This has got FM. So we'll see if this gets our music back or not. There's another idea I have too. First we'll see if we get music. Then after that, we'll see about my other ideas. This was not smart. I'm going to burn Disc 1 from Fantasy 7 before determining whether it would work or not. But we're not smart. So... here... Okay, so we got the Yamaha one. Which that sounds the most accurate, so we'll keep with that one. Although we can use the Sound Blaster MIDI if we want to. So we'll assume that works. But now, the other trick that we'll pull. And I wonder if this is going to impact performance in a positive way. That is the glide wrapper. Let's see. I don't see where I'm deep. Alright. This could be a horrible idea. That's the point of having the glide wrappers, to be like, oh, maybe it'd be awesome. So we go into big wrap. I think this has a Final Fantasy VII thing. Right? Free space, blue lights, option, cock, Motorhead, Total Soccer, Grand Prix, truck, truck, Overspeed 2. It does, so we could make it more fun if we wanted. So what we need to do is do this. Oh, glide only works in the demo. Really? That's weird. Why did it talk about glide shit before then? Yep, that all seems good. Just waiting for it to load. Welcome back. So are you skipping this? Nope. There's no skipping this scene. Maybe Final Fantasy VII is too much for the CPU. Like, I blame the CPU and not the GPU because clearly they were running this game with a Verite, otherwise they wouldn't have a patch for it. And there weren't many variants of the Verite. Maybe I need to run it at a half resolution. When we get the E-Machine up, we'll get to try some of this on there too, because that'll have a faster CPU, and it'll also have at least one Voodoo 2. I want to see if I can repair the other one and get it SLI'd. Hey. This seems even slower than before. I wonder if running that software synth emulation is just putting more tax on the CPU. For example, if we had this going through the Sound Blaster instead of, maybe that would have sounded worse, but performed a little bit better. This does tell me at least that it's the CPU that's to blame, just because we change the sound configuration and the frame rate drops. Like, the CPU is overtaxed. I do find it interesting that, like, after Croc and Quake 2, Final Fantasy VII is the thing that just jogs so hard. Jesus Christ. So there's two more things I'm going to try here. Let's go back into config. Raise the general MIDI. And then for graphics, is that only selecting software renderer? Why do I get rid of this just in case it's doing something weird? I didn't click the wrong one, did I? Graphics. Yeah. RPD. Let's do 320 by 240. We'll try this one more time. What I'm hoping is we could get it to run. So if we're like, man, I really want to play Final Fantasy VII, this is the only box I got, can we get it to run? Well, faster. It's kind of funny to hear this in general MIDI. Alright. Final Fantasy VII's a no-go for this system. We tried a couple times. Of course, Explorer crashed. Let's try this one. Did I look up min specs for Final Fantasy VII? So I'm trying to find out. Man, Google just isn't being helpful. I'm seeing Pentium 133, Pentium 166, but I kind of don't believe it. Oh, Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron seems like a nice joystick-friendly 3D shooty game. Actually, so I want to preserve that. This is in 3D. What? Shortcuts. Let's calibrate the joystick. It's fine. Configuration. So, like, Rogue Squadron isn't doing anything right now. It's just making DX Diag come up for some reason. Okay. Guess I'll just play and see how it goes. I thought when it said analyze system, like it was going to do a scan and auto configure something. No. 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 Okay, it's off. I was like, this doesn't look right. Well, the resolution's all weird. Control. Great. What am I doing? Fine. Great. Settings. Okay. So playing at the minimum resolution. I'll just start. We'll see what happens. This is not boding well so far.
Take an early morning run over Moss Isley with Wedge Antilles, but keep your eyes open for any suspicious activity.
It'll work great. It'll work great. It'll work great. I dare say one of the big limitations of this card is there's only a 4 megabyte card. And so I suspect that there's some thrash with like texture loading and stuff.
Good morning, Wedge. The rest of Rogue Squadron is still back at base, but I thought we could take an early morning run through Beggar's Canyon.
Well, this is...
Luke, I think we've got a problem. Is that my imagination, or are those Imperial growth droids dead ahead? They're attacking, no?
Oh, God. How do I slow down? Okay, that's speed up. Oh no, that's way more than I wanted. That's torpedo. Oh! I'm trying to figure out how to slow down. I should have configured my controls! Right now, so since I can't slow down, doing like runs against guys is gonna be kind of hard. Yeah, fine, I guess. This is... So it's hard for me to see too, because this monitor is not playing nice with 640 by 480 now.
I'm clear, but my factor's down.
I've got a lot of signal noise. There's one of our guys. This is hard for me to play with this monitor, unfortunately, because I'm missing half the screen. Oh, good. Yeah, it kind of runs. Let's see, these are... Yes, we're at the higher end of the CPU requirements for this. Let's see if we get anything out of the glide wrapper. That's an application. Is this just a icon? There's also an application. These are both applications. I don't know which one to use. So I'm putting Croc because Croc's kind of least amount of configuration. For, like basically you give it, here's the exe, then here's the profile it should run. So then we go to Rogue. Configuration. I'm looking to see if there's a fig. License renew. So they might just be doing DirectX all the way down no matter what. And this is probably just too new of a game because there's a CPU requirement we saw, but also like the Voodoo card is referencing it's like a Voodoo 3. That's a bit spicier than this card. So it might be sad times for Rogue Squadron. And Rogue Squadron I think I picked basically because we've got some other N64 derivative games hanging around. And I thought, oh well, Rogue Squadron is an N64 derivative game. So maybe it'll work. I didn't really look at the system requirements and no. Alright, let's try IndyCar Racing 2. This is a Papyrus game, and it should have native rendition support. This was, I think, a Windows re-release, so it should support my joystick. That's weird. Maybe I don't have this on here now. We're gonna... Sure, Great Explorer. I'm so glad. Explorer has to crash at least once a game. I wonder if some of the Windows 98 weirdness I see in this machine isn't just the age of the hardware. Like, I run Windows 98 on newer systems, right? Like the Dell Dimension, and it's pretty stable. But this machine reminds me so much of just like weird old machines. We may not actually have this game available to us. Okay, so I don't know what's on this disc, but apparently it's not. IndyCar Racing 2 is not happening. I don't know what's the deal with that. Alright, Mech Warrior 3 is going to be next up. We'll see how this guy goes. I feel like the Pentium 3 area in general is just a nice... Those are really nice turn-of-the-century machines. Like, this is a mid-90s machine. This is not a late 90s machine. And, you know, hardware accelerated so fast during that time period that, like, that matters a lot. Yes. I accept your terms. You watch, it turns out that, like, me throwing a bunch of stuff on this solid-state drive is having a problem. Wouldn't that be something? So we're right there in the middle. I wish I could get 8 megabytes of memory on this card. I think that would give me just a little more wiggle room. I thought about Mech Warrior 2. I kind of wanted to try Mech Warrior 3 because it's a bit newer. We'll see if I regret doing that. Okay, so far we have seen the glide renderer successfully run Croc. So as of right now, it seems to be the unofficial Croc rendition wrapper. Yeah. Do you mean the glide renderer for MechWarrior 2 tends to be incompatible with things? Or are you talking about the rendition glide wrapper being incompatible? Oh, excuse me. It'd be kind of comical if it worked. There has to be a red line renderer for MechWarrior 2, right? For the Verite? Because that supported most of those APIs back in the day. Yeah. I mean, basically Redline, I believe, is the Windows library, and Speedy 3D was the DOS one. And I don't remember if MechWarrior 2 was DOS or Windows. Okay. Yeah, because they had a couple releases of it, right? Oh, that's cute. Huh. Gotta keep that Mech Warrior 2 getting sold. Mech Warrior 3 might end up being too new. I hope it's not, but... I would not like an icon on my desktop, thank you very much. Let's ignore. That's a Rage, Matrox, Mystique, Verge, Voodoo, and Power VR. Like that's honestly that's in the generation of the Verge 1. Oh, excuse me. Man, why is this thing dogging so slow? I don't think I need DirectX 6.1. No. Alright, let's see how this does for us. Micro Bros. Match Warrior 3. We're gonna skip that movie for the moment. I don't wanna. Oh, hold up, sorry. That's probably more CD audio. Let's put options. Graphics and audio. Wow, there's still a little bit there, even though I asked for it all to be off. Software renderer. Okay. Alright. We won't get to hear the awesome CD soundtrack, but steel controls. Here we go. All right. We'll just see what happens by default with the joystick. Training. I guess I put in the name. Yeah, this monitor was rendering 640 by 480 fine earlier. I don't know what's going on. We just need a better VGA solution for this, probably. I'm hoping it's loading, because I can't move my mouse anymore.
Listen to your instructor closely and follow his orders. At any time, you can press the F12 key to bring up the objective screen, which will display your currently assigned task. Also, the trainer assumes that you are using the default control configuration and will not recognize remapped command inputs. Good luck, Cadet.
We didn't bother to record alternate control schemes into this training. Make do. That's interesting. Let's launch. Right. Well, that's a thing. Hat works. All right. So I think it's probably using CD audio for the. Oh. So is that rendering bugs with the shadows? Maybe looks like it. It supports the throttle slider on the joystick. That's jumpy jump. And I can twist to turn the head of the mech independent from the other stuff. That's pretty cool. I just ran into it. I ran into it. I did it. Alright, so we need to reburn this because the audio is all jacked up. I'm not able to shoot? Maybe there's a weapon that needs to be activated, but I don't know how to do it. Yeah, well, it looks like it basically runs, which is nice. I consider this a success. There's a shift also. Oh, I can hit a button on the joystick to zoom. That's adorable. Maybe it's disabled weapons while we go through training. Okay. Okay. I mean, our capture solution isn't having any of this nonsense. So, put this down here. it. We'll see where we're at with the E-machine, and what I mean by that is, I've been thinking about, do I buy a CRT for this setup? And I've already, the E-machine's coming with a CRT, so I don't think I need another one. I'm gonna sort out the discs I need to fix. Let's try this. Let's try track 2. When I was at RePC last, in addition to monitors and stuff and the joystick, they also had it was a VGA to Ethernet thingy-dinger. This is like a little Starland box. And it's meant for you to proxy Ethernet over Ethernet, or VGA over Ethernet. But the other thing that it had was it had multiple VGA outputs from the input. So I wonder if it's a powered split. So I could do, let's see, 6.1F, 6.1, 3D. Like, this is part of like, is this going to work? I don't know. Because it's not really specific about what video card it needs. Maybe I need that? I don't know. So it's not like I'm running out of disk space immediately, but I know that I've been using a bunch of it and putting all these games on here. I'm thinking, like, am I going to use up all my disk space accidentally? Make sure to install the expansion. Yes. But yeah, if that little box could split VGA, I could then plug that into a CRT, and I can see what the hell's going on. That doesn't quite fix the VGA capture, because that's hard. VGA capture is difficult, especially with games that keep screwing around with the refresh rates and stuff. But right now, well, yeah, it's going VGA into this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the good solution is. Oh, the that card you bought that we had to get working? Or is there something else you're using for VGA capture? Well, I know you've been using the same consistent thing. I don't remember what it is because I don't look at your setup very much. And I thought at one time you had like some sort of Starland VGA thing, maybe. Star Trek to us. I assume because I had a link in it. Okay, adorable to put this here. Let's see how Turok runs. Virtual Track DirectX. Let's see how that does. And then if we want to try some glide nonsense, we can try that too. This app requires direct draw. It keeps telling me that. I think we're fine. This is the slowest machine I've ever run track 2 on. It sounds like the audio's getting blown out, which is annoying. Okay. Guess let's get started. Yeah, I did want to start the game. Oh, this doesn't bode well. Skip that. The audio's pretty bad. Did my best to skip it so we can just get into the game. trying to find. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay. The audio is not amazing. There's some like weird geometry issue. Well, yeah, there's some weird geometry issues in this. Yeah, let's see if there's any configuration we can do here. It sounds like the sound effects are getting blown out. Let's try 11 kilohertz. So I want to see about sound first, and then we'll start screwing with the video to see if we can get something more stable out of it. So it doesn't sound great. I kind of want to get into the game where all the sound effects and stuff are. Oh yeah, her sound effects are still really weird. I wonder if like there's some weird compatibility issues with the Sound Blaster 16 because it's, you know, a really old ISA card, and we're trying to get it to work with, you know, FPS on Windows from 1998. I'm looking on our camera here too to see if how geometry looks. So I wonder like if it'd be worth trying the Voodoo compatibility or not. Like in here, it seems to be running smooth. Like if there's a bunch of graphical flaws or something, then that might warrant trying to screw with the Voodoo wrapper. Obviously, the Voodoo won't save us from bad audio.
Distress beacon activated.
And also, as we've seen before, it's a distress beacon. Oh, there it is. And as we've seen before with Turok, it tends to be persnickety with audio also. Yeah, I set it to a compressed 11 kilohertz. Yeah, I was hoping that would have been enough. Oof. Hey, the music doesn't sound bad. The sound effects and voice, I think, are really what's suffering. Oopsie.
Discharged.
What's going on the phone? Yeah. I just got your message about your post being censored. Yeah, this LCD monitor I'm using right now, I think I got it from Dan for free. It might be my least favorite monitor I've ever had, because it is so persnickety. So far, like, I mean, initially things were a bit choppy. Oh, that's streaming the audio off the CD also. That's why it sounds so good. So it's all the digital stuff that's having problems. This seems to be running Turok 2 basically fine. And Turok 1 would probably run fine if I had burned it correctly. I forgot the Turok music was Red Book. Oh god. That digital goes so bad on this right now. Yeah, I mentioned this monitor being my least favorite because, oh, if you could see what I see right now, it is not great. There's just like a whole bunch of digital signal artifacting on the screen because it's being fed a resolution it does not like. And I'm like looking through it to try to play Turok 2. Nah. Only a couple arrows. bullets. What are those for? I won't be playing a whole bunch of Track 2. Let's save this kid and then we'll call it Track 2. But again, this is something I want to come back to when like we experience like a game running decent. This is on some cheap-ass Cyrix processor running on a discounted video card whose biggest sin is that it's not quite as good as a Voodoo.
Child rescued.
Like, it's running. Audio issues notwithstanding, because that's... I think that's a configuration problem. I don't think that's a hardware failure necessarily. Alright, I need more places to stack things. Excuse me. I want to see how Blazing Blade works. I think it's a pretty forgiving game. Like, that ran fine enough after, like, I don't know why that, I feel like that first run was rougher than the second one. I don't know if there's stuff that wasn't in memory, maybe be in memory or something, but like, I feel no need to go and try to wrap it with the glide wrapper. Frame rate was fine, it rendered stuff correctly. My monitor is a janky piece of crap, but that's a different problem. It didn't load that disk yet. You're not Turok anymore. Maybe Explorer needs to crash again. It hasn't gotten like a good, healthy crash out of itself yet. And now we see it start now. Oh, cool. Did the right thing. Yeah, sure, we'll run it. Let's see what it does. 33D, 640, 480, okay. Well, this is not good. So video playback didn't work. Once again, we got our joystick. Because this is a console game after all. He's our pal. I got more bonus. So strong. There's a way to start this, and I don't remember exactly how. Well, I guess there's that. Oh, didn't like that. Not one bit. Nope. That's not happening. Oh god. What did I do? Okay. Let's be happy with our 640 by 480. And our Hypnotoad. Let's get past the Hypnotoad. I don't know how to make this go. I don't remember how to make the characters go. I used to know this, because it's not intuitive. Dude, it's mapping buttons. Forget to yes. F2 is the magic button. God. Okay. It looks like it runs. Oh good, those buttons do that. Let's go to action stage. Oh my god. I don't want to gather information. I just want to try it. Hey, it looks like it runs fine. I'm even getting to use the joystick on it. can I go? No, you shouldn't. You're good with information. Good day, herb girl. Well, that switches some mode. Oh, that's the size of the UI. That's interesting. Alright, we gotta get away from Herb Girl because she's obnoxious. Oh, that puts it in a high resolution. It didn't crash. Alright, well, this works. Okay, we've been going for a few hours. I'm gonna take a break. We've been testing some good stuff. You've got a pretty good idea of how things run. We do have a couple other neat games. Maybe we'll check some of those out tonight or maybe tomorrow, depending on how everyone's feeling. This has been a bit of an experiment for me to try some games, but we can look at some stuff that I know works. That maybe it's be fun to see the game itself and not just see what this machine does with it. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.
I got a hand-me-down dog. I keep a second-hand cat.